It's that time of year again, folks. Time for another 50% off Criterion Collection sale at Barnes & Noble. The sale began on June the 27th, runs through July 27th. I swung in there when the store opened on the 27th to pick out my titles. So here's what I chose for this year's Criterion Collection sale. Going in spine order, we start with 260. You might have seen it there. A French horror film, Eyes Without a Face. I have never actually seen Eyes Without a Face. There was a review online that said, imagine the brain that wouldn't die but not incredibly stupid, and that sold me on it right there. So pretty impressive stuff. I do like French horror films. I like French cinema regardless of genre. I've talked about Diabolique on this channel before. I've talked about the 1946 French version of Beauty and the Beast. I have reviews of both of those. Both movies are definitely worth watching. So I'm very excited to finally get a chance to watch this. I've heard enough about it, but haven't sat down to actually view it yet. So you might remember a Best Picture winner from a couple years ago, The Shape of Water. That has a Criterion release, I believe, but that's not what I picked out. Another film by Guillermo del Toro. I bought Pan's Labyrinth on Blu-ray. If you watch my Criterion reviews, you know that there's a couple rules I've always follow. One is that I upgrade something that I already own on VHS or DVD or non-Criterion Blu-ray for a Criterion Blu-ray or 4K or whatever. So this time one of my upgrades was Pan's Labyrinth, which I actually still haven't watched yet, but I forgot it was in one of those big Warner Brothers collections that I have. But I don't mind buying it anyway, it's supposed to be really good. And how often do we see films set during the Spanish Civil War? Not very. So I'm excited to see that. I really like the few Del Toro films I've seen. I haven't seen all of his, but The Shape of Water I liked. Let that guy go by. The Shape of Water I liked, barring the scene with the monster encountering a cat for the first time. That part I will skip next time I watch, so I'm really excited to see Pan's Labyrinth. I think that would be a good one. Alright, so another rule I followed in the past was to always make sure to purchase different formats. It used to be my Barnes & Noble had a big DVD section and a small Blu-ray section, so I'd make sure to buy at least one DVD and one Blu-ray. That changed. Last time I was there, they had a big Blu-ray section and a small 4K UHD section. I'd buy one from each. And then this time, they did something totally different. They actually combine everything together. And they had DVDs again, too. But you could have a particular title in a row, and there'd be the 4K box, and the Blu-ray, and the DVD. It was so weird. So this time I didn't focus on that. But I still did my upgrades, and one movie I had to upgrade was, oh, David, the leopard! The leopard! Bringing Up Baby, one of my all-time favorite films. One of the comedies that I've watched the most. Here's the colorized video. If you watch my colorized VHS video, we talk more about that. I love Bringing Up Baby, though. Oh, Susan, Susan, Susan. You know, that kind of thing. So, Bringing Up Baby, definitely a classic. Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant have to take care of Baby the Leopard. Baby the Leopard is very fond of dogs, but I don't know if that means he eats them or if he just likes to be around them, that kind of thing. And interestingly, something I didn't realize till I bought it, the booklet has the original short story by Hagar Wilde published inside, so I can actually read the original story for the first time. It's one of those short stories that has been so eclipsed by the film that we kind of forget it started as a story, so that'll be a bonus. Be fun to watch that. When I was there was a young fellow, probably about 17, 18, 19 years old, who was picking out his Criterion titles too. Always makes me happy to see a young person into classic films, just as I was at that age. But when we were comparing, I said, make sure you watch this at some point. I'm an old Hollywood guy, I love wacky comedies, and he said he was actually buying one of his favorite movies, Chungking Express, which I've never seen. So it's pretty cool though. But always good to meet another fan and talk to them. Of course, Bringing Up Baby is a classic. Alright, so those of you who watch my channel know I collect Best Picture winners, and every Oscar season I do a video on a particular, usually two videos, on a particular decade. I have one for the 20s, I have two for the 30s, two for the 40s. Next Oscar season I'll have a couple for the 1950s, but I do collect Best Picture winners. Coda took a little bit of doing, but I still managed to get a legitimate copy. But the only Best Picture winner I've never seen, the only one I don't have, Spy number 1259, Anora. Anora won the most recent Best Picture Oscar. I haven't seen it. That young fellow said he had, and he really liked it, so I'm curious to see it now. I know it won several Oscars too, but now I have a complete set of Best Picture winners again, which I'm very happy to have. I know Anora is a little on the risque side as the artwork reveals, but that's okay. Not the only Criterion film to do so. I almost bought Corel. I was going to buy that and I didn't. But that has Brad Davis in his very revealing sailor suit on the box. So some Criterion films, that's just what they do. But anyway, Anora, very excited to see it. I finally have a complete set of Best Picture winners again. And of course, The Shape of Water, which I mentioned before. Another motorcycle, pardon that. Also a Best Picture winner. And one more title, you know, I always buy a couple non-Criterion things at Barnes & Noble as well. Like I bought the little tiny Sail on Sailor 2 CD set, so I have that as a handy prop to use. But something that is a distinction for Bringing Up Baby is that it was one of the first 50 films in the National Film Registry of the Library of Congress. Every year the Library of Congress picks 25 movies that they put in. They pick all different types of movies from all different genres, all different decades, all different, you know, people behind the camera. They always shoot for diversity, even since they started in 1989. And I have all 25 1989 films. Most of them are pretty recognizable, like The Wizard of Oz and Star Wars and Citizen Kane, things like that. In 1990, though, they, of course, inducted another batch. A lot of classics there, too. Some of my all-time favorites, like Top Hat, Duck Soup, Dodsworth, Bringing Up Babies in there, too. And I thought, I saw this movie, this next one on our list, and I thought, you know what? I saw this on that list of the first 50 films in there, but I've never actually seen it. Killer of Sheep. I don't know much about it. It's from 1977. But I thought, well, if it got inducted into the Library of Congress that early, it must be pretty darn good. Spy number 1262. Don't really know much about it, so if you've seen Killer of Sheep, please comment below on what that's all about. And if you went Criterion shopping, please comment below the ones that you bought or would like to buy if you haven't got there yet. I always go in person, or usually go in person. There was one year I didn't, but I like that better than getting them online. I'm sure online has more variety. If I had been able to, I would have waited a couple more days because I think 1953's The Big Heat is coming out soon, but that'll be a November purchase for me. And yeah, that'll do it for today. So join me in the future for some more Beach Boys videos. Make sure you comment your favorite Criterion titles or the ones you just picked up below. I'll see you next time. So long, everybody.